had gone to the compound when liljay was present. Is that right? 2015.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're safe. Now, you haven't had a chance to talk to anyone about your testimony as court instructor. Is that right?
Right. Correct.
And has anyone from our office reached out to you to do that?
No.
So, do you remember when we stopped yesterday? We were talking about your ability to go from one place to another without getting permission to do so.
Yes.
From the person you had to report to.
Yes.
Who did you have to report to? What was the name of that person? Do you remember?
No.
And do you remember how it was that you were supposed to report?
No.
Do you remember how often you were supposed to report?
No.
So when you said yesterday, when you talked about getting permission to travel out of state because you were on, what was it that you were on?
I was on an ankle monitor.
And that ankle monitor, was that the result? What was that the result of?
Are you asking me the reason I had ankle monitor on?
I'm asking you why did you have to wear an ankle monitor?
Because I had a case pending.
You had a case pending.
Yes, I was, yeah.
And that was in 2015, correct?
Yes.
All right. And have in the car with you a stolen gun.
Yes.
And was that around July 15th of 2015?
Yes.
So the case was Janice Steele with a stolen gun occurred after you all had gone to the compound when liljay was present. Is that right? When was your birthday?
Yeah, April. Yes, that's right.
I sustain the objection.
Where were you not allowed to go because of your ankle monitor?
Good question.
So, I don't remember the exact conditions of my ankle monitor, but I do know that I can leave the state.
Did you ask to leave the state?
No.
God damn.
Did you know whether with permission you could be given permission to leave the state?
So it was clear.
You called it just now a house arrest monitor. Would you explain what you meant by that?
So it's a monitor that monitors you.
Why did you call it a house arrest monitor? Were you under house arrest?
I don't know if I was up on a house arrest. No, I couldn't have been up on a house arrest.
And you say that why?
Because I don't recall no one telling me that I had to stay in the house.
And so when you said house arrest monitor a minute ago, you don't know why you said that?
No, it's just a term.
So yesterday when you were talking about the amount of money that you had to pay, when you and your YSL friends were going to the compound, did you all communicate with one another?
When we was going to the compound?
Yes.
Yes.
How did you all communicate with one another?
By mouth? Is that what you said?
Were there members of YSL in the car with you?
Yes.
Who was in the car with you?
Shannon Jackson and I think D.
Tell me who D is. Tell the jury who D is.
Yeah, who is D?
You want me to tell your name? Like, I know D.
I do.
I know D.
Do you know his name?
I don't want to like get it mistaken or nothing. I'm gonna get it.
To the best of your recollection, who D is.
His name is Demikion.
Demikion Darlington?
Yes.
Was he also known as 30 Deep D?
I guess so.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to stop it right here, but you can tell he's definitely trying not to cooperate. Like, he's trying his best. This guy's even growing gray hair. Like, god damn. Anyway, remember, like, share, and subscribe, guys.
Now, did you know at the time who 30 Deep was?
Did I know who 30 Deep was?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I heard.
And who was 30 Deep, or what was 30 Deep?
It was a neighborhood and
That's hearsay.
Nah.
I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Thank you. You may answer.
a neighborhood in the Southside community.
30 Deep was a neighborhood?
It was, yes.
It was a neighborhood, okay. Was it also a gang?
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
If they went by being a gang.
What neighborhood was 30 Deep?
Mechanicsville.
And is it your testimony that when you say a neighborhood, what are you talking about?
An area in Atlanta.
So 30 Deep was called when you wanted to go a certain place, you would say, let's go to 30 Deep?
No.
So then, how is it a neighborhood? How are you calling it a neighborhood?
Objection, Your Honor. Foundation. I'll sustain the objection even if they will lay a little more foundation. Okay?
If you call 30 Deep a neighborhood, do you mean that it's a place?
Yes.
So, based on that, if you wanted to go to the place where 30 Deep was, would you then say, let's go to 30 Deep?
I don't know how people will say that they'll go. Me? I wouldn't say that.
Why not?
That's not like no. No, that's not a terminology I would use. I knew the area. Zone 3. I'd probably say, let's go to a different part of Zone 3.
So then, when you said that 30 Deep is a place, a neighborhood, and it's not something you ever refer to as that place, where are you getting from that it's a neighborhood or a place?
Because that's where they was known out of the area.
They. Who is the they that you're referring
The 30 deep that you the 30 deep.
to? So 30 Deep is a group of people.
Yeah.
It's a gang?
I don't know.
But Demikion Darlington was 30 Deep.
Yes.
Was
Sustain it.
Demikion Darlington 30 Deep?
That was his Instagram handle. Yes.
How often would you say that you associated with Demikion Darlington?
Rarely. I'm sorry. Rarely.
How often did you associate with Jeffrey Williams?
Often. A lot.
Did you also associate with Walter Murphy?
Often.
How often did you associate with Shannon Stillwell?
Often.
Now,
conversation
What did you talk about on the way to the compound?
that we was gonna continue club hopping until all the clubs gone. Till all the clubs closed. It's my birthday, we celebrate.
What time did you all set out to celebrate?
There wasn't no initial celebration time. The whole day was a celebration.
Were you all at clubs the whole day?
Yes.
What clubs had you gone to before the compound?
Magic City.
And did you go directly to the compound from Magic City?
We went to a lot of different clubs. That was like 10 years ago. I can't recall the exact movements. But I know we went to a lot of different clubs.
Did you go to the studio? Any studio before the compound?
No.
Did you go to the studio after the compound?
I don't recall. I don't know. I think I was trying to get home to my girl after the club. I don't recall.
Did you talk with anyone in particular on the way to the compound?
I don't recall.
While you were in the car with Dee and Shannon, and incidentally, you said Shannon Jackson. Is Shannon Jackson in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please tell the jury where he is?
In the far back with the brown and the glasses on.
Is he seated next to a gentleman with white hair and a gentleman with no hair?
Yes.
Your Honor, if the record would reflect that the witness identified Shannon Stillwell.
It shall.
Thank you. So, how long were you in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound?
However long it took to get from one club to the next one.
Okay, so could you give the jury an estimate?
Roughly 20, 30 minutes. I don't know.
Whose car were you all in?
It was a rental car. My rental car.
A rental car?
Yeah.
Who was driving?
I was.
Who rented it?
I did.
Where'd you rent it from?
Not from an initial rental company. It was from like an owner of the vehicle.
Okay. And what kind of car was it?
It was a Mercedes-Benz.
During the 20 or 30 minutes that you were in the car with Shannon and Dee on the way to the compound, what did you all talk about?
Objection, Your Honor. That's Dave. I'll overrule the objection.
You may.
I don't recall too much talking. I ain't gonna lie, I was smoking weed and drinking liquor. It was my birthday, I was celebrating.
Was everybody in the car smoking weed and drinking liquor?
I was.
And you were the driver?
Yes.
So, how did smoking weed and drinking liquor, how does that affect your ability to remember today what happened that night?
How did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect?
But the better question is, you said you were smoking weed and drinking liquor. Does that have any kind of significance in your testimony today while I'm asking you a question?
So, from my understanding, your initial question was, did you guys have conversations or were you talking to each other on the way? And my response was that basically I was vibing, listening to music, smoking weed, and drinking liquor. So I don't recall any exact conversations.
Not exact. Do you recall any parts of what you all were talking about?
I don't recall.
So did the smoking weed and drinking liquor, is that what impaired your ability to recall today?
Objection, Your Honor. This is 8 years ago.
Your Honor, I object.
And very close.
said that smoking weed or drinking liquor had me forget what I was saying. I said, I recall smoking weed, drinking liquor, and vibing out to the music. That's what was my answer.
So now my question is, did smoking weed and drinking liquor affect your ability to remember things from that night?
The length of years ago that this particular thing we're talking about is the reason.
I'm asking about the smoking weed and drinking liquor.
No.
No. Simple.
So how is it that you remembered the 30 minutes you were in the compound?
Because very familiar with the Atlanta area. I grew up here, I'm born here, and I know how much time it takes to get from one place to another.
Yesterday, I talked about how long you said you were inside the compound. Do you remember how long you told the jury you were inside the compound?
Yes.
And how long was that?
When I say about 30 to a half hour, yeah, something.
So how do you remember that you were inside the compound for about 30 minutes?
I'm gonna overrule it. That was Mr. Steele. I'm gonna overrule the objection, sir.
I remember that by being upset about the amount of money that I paid to get in and the length of time that I spent being in the party.
And you said you spent $500 to get in?
Sustained.
Do you remember how much money you told the jury that you spent getting in yesterday?
Yes.
I sustain the objection.
So was that all of your birthday money?
Overruled.
I don't remember how much money I had on me.
Was that also because of the time that it's been?
Yes.
Do you consider $500 a lot of money or not a lot of money?
Overruled.
$500 is a lump sum of money.
That's a lot.
You can pay a bill with $500.
I agree, but you consider it a lot of money.
Anything you can pay a bill with, that's a lot of money.
Okay. So, did you plan to spend that lot of money that night on the compound?
Overruled. Remember what I told you, one at a time.
I didn't make any plans. I just planned on enjoying myself for the night.
Did you know prior to going the cost of getting into the compound?
No.
Did you know prior to going how long the artist Lil Wayne was going to be at the compound?
No.
And when you got to the compound, did you ask whether or not Lil Wayne was still performing inside the compound? I'm sorry, could you say that again? Because I can't hear you.
Yes. Overruled, sir.
Thank you.
Did I ask anyone? No.
Did you try to find out in any way whether he was still performing?
No.
So when you get up to the compound and you're in the car with Shannon and Dee, what do Shannon and Dee do when you go up to the door, the entryway to the compound?
I don't know.
I'll sustain the objection.
I don't recall.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on. Let her pose another question to you, okay? All right.
Does Shannon and Dee go to the door of the compound with you?
I don't recall.
inability to recall for any reason in particular?
The length of time it was ago, it was a long time ago. I don't remember everything step by step that happened that night, so no.
Do you remember how you got home?
Yes.
How did you get home?
I drove
What did you drive?
to Mercedes-Benz.
Was there anyone in the car with you?
I don't remember step by step.
How do you remember who you came with but don't remember who you left with?
That was a long time ago.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members while you were at the compound? Not on the way, but while you were at the compound.
I recall telling I'm finna go in the club.
Did you communicate with any other YSL members any more than to say the words, I'm about to go into the club?
That's the only thing I recall.
Do you recall members of YSL saying anything to you without telling the jury what they said?
I don't recall.
Did you tell us yesterday whether Jimmy Winfrey was one of the YSL members that went with you to the compound as a group?
No.
And was Jimmy Winfrey one of the YSL members that went to the compound?
He was there, yes.
Do you remember what he was driving?
It was a long time ago.
Is that a yes or a no?
It was a long time. Oh no.
I'm sorry?
No.
And Walter Murphy, the Walter Murphy that we spoke about associating with Ogden, was Walter Murphy one of the YSL members at the compound?
So it was a large group. I don't recall everyone who was with us from the length of time that it was.
Understanding that you may not recall every single person, my only question right now is, do you recall whether Walter Murphy was one of the people, one of the YSL members at the compound?
No, I don't recall from the length of years ago it was.
So, do you recall what time you left?
I don't recall.
Do you recall exactly where you went after the compound?
I don't recall.
When you spoke yesterday about the thing that you were not involved with, and that you clarified as Lil Wayne bust you, where were you when that happened?
I don't know the exact time that it happened, so I don't know where I was.
What do you know about it?
Other than what I heard and seen, nothing.
Seen?
What did you see?
Oh, nothing.
I seen on the internet the artist had his butt shot.
Did you join up with any other YSL members after you left the compound?
I don't recall.
Can you tell the jury how it is you recall that you all went to the compound as a group, but don't recall whether you all left together?
Overruled. Can I tell the jury one more time?
Can you tell the jury how it is you remember you all went to the compound as a group, YSL, but you can't recall
to the jury.
Oh, stop that.
Can you tell the jury what you talked about, if anything at all, with YSL members after you left the compound?
No, I don't recall.
Did you call Jimmy Winfrey at the time, Jimmy?
No.
What'd you call him?
Roscoe.
Is Roscoe the same person known as Pee Wee Roscoe?
Yes.
Did you ever wear any articles of clothing that said Free Roscoe?
I don't recall.
Did you ever see YSL members wearing shirts that says Free Roscoe?
Boy.
If I'm not mistaken,
That's a yes or a no, please. And then you can explain.
I was trying to answer the question. So I can't give you a yes or no because I think that I was in prison at the time.
At what time, sir?
I think I was in prison at that time and he was locked up, if I'm not mistaken, or in jail.
So do you know when it is that you went to prison?
Yes,
When?
in 2015.
What part of 2015?
I don't remember the exact dates.
Right now,
So,
big.
understanding that you believe you were in prison at the time Jimmy Winfrey was locked up, my question to you is a slightly different one. Do you recall seeing YSL members wearing merch or shirts with Free Roscoe on?
I don't recall.
Are you aware of the existence of YSL merch that says Free Roscoe?
I don't recall. That was a long time ago now.
Do you know why or what it was that Roscoe was locked up for when that Free Roscoe merch came out?
Certain facts are not in evidence. I sustain the objection. You can refer to that.
Are you aware of the Free Roscoe merch?
Yeah, I knew that.
I'll sustain the objection.
When you spoke about Roscoe, when you said that you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up, how do you know what time Roscoe was locked up?
I don't.
Then why do you believe you were in prison at the time Roscoe was locked up?
Because of the allegations happened in 2015, and that's when I went to prison in 2015.
I'm sorry. I don't know what allegations you're talking about. So could you please tell us
So the initial incident
what initial incident?
that you were speaking about,
I'm just asking you about Roscoe and Free Roscoe. So what are you talking about?
you asked no
No what?
to your question.
Since I just asked you what you were talking about, how is no the answer to that?
To your initial question,
Which question is that you're considering my initial question?
you asked me, did I know when Roscoe was locked up?
So once again, what incident is it that you're talking about when you made reference to the initial incident just now?
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting.
I'm supporting.
The incident surrounding the tour bus shooting.
Are you talking about the Lil Wayne bus shooting?
Yes.
What does that have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
You asked me, did I know when I was locked up? Did I know when he was locked up? I think that was the question.
My only question is, what does the Lil Wayne bus shooting have to do with when Roscoe was locked up?
I don't know. I got from the question that you was initially talking about the incident, so I didn't understand.
So what I'm asking you is, why did you bring up the Lil Wayne bus shooting when I was asking you about Roscoe being locked up?
Because I'm gonna, he's answered the question the best of his Remember, what's your base for the objection, Mr. Ask the answer. That is, I'll sustain that objection.
Was Roscoe locked up for shooting up the Lil Wayne bus?
Yes.
And Roscoe is a member of YSL, is that right?
Yes.
All right. And is that the same Roscoe that went to the compound
No,
with
it's
you
getting
all
juicy.
as a group, with YSL as a group?
Yes.
All right. And was the whole gang of YSL as big a Lil Wayne fan as you talked about yesterday?
Sure. I sustain objection.
Who all was it?
I sustain the objection already. All right, you need to rephrase that. Okay.
Thank you. Would you tell the jury what members of YSL that went with you in this group to the compound were actual fans of Lil